3.4, you have the slope in forms of linear equations. We want to learn the slope of a line and two forms of an equation of a line. Something that was brought up in section 3.3 with a question was slope-intercept form. The other form is point-slope form. Okay, so we're talking about slopes and forms of linear equations. We want to learn the slope of a line. We want to talk about two forms of an equation of a line, that being in slope-intercept form and point-slope form. Okay, slope measures how steep our line is, right? We can have what types of slopes? Positive, negative, very good. Zero, and undefined. You got it. That's what this section is all about. So let x, stop the clicking please. Let x1, y1 and x2, y2 be two distinct points on a line. The slope of the line denoted as m is given by m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. How many remember that? Many of you would have seen this before, okay? So this may be a refresher for some, okay? But let me explain where it comes from. Again, you have these 2 points, okay? So really you can think of this additional point here. That would be x2 comma y1. And this forms a right triangle. We know this distance here is y2 minus y1. What is this distance? Very good. So that means that if you want the slope of that line, that's given by y sub 2 minus y sub 1. I say that line, this line. It's y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Answer, go. There was a question? Oh, bless you. Okay, thought you said question, sorry. Okay, so 2 facts to tie in the definitions of horizontal lines and vertical lines, which we just ended with in 3.3. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. That is for the line y equals c. Remember, for a horizontal line, y equals c, there is no slope, right? So the slope is 0. Vertical lines have a slope that's undefined. That is, for x equals c, c is a constant, m is undefined. So whenever you have a vertical line, like so, the slope is undefined. The slope is undefined because the x value is the same on this line, which means you would be dividing by what number here? If the x value is the same, this would be a what? 0. Can we divide by 0? No, that's why the slope is undefined for a vertical line. Have a good one. We'll finish this up on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we're also having a group work activity. So now we're going to continue with this idea of slope, and we're going to determine the slope of the line that passes through the given points. Negative 3, 2, and negative, or let me say it again, negative 3, 2, and 7, negative 10. And part B, negative 2, 4, and 6, 9. Do you want time to try them? Yes. Okay, so I'll give you time to try those. Okay, so we want to determine the slope of the line passing through the given points, negative 3, 2, and 7, negative 10. What did you get? Very good, excellent. You get negative 6 over 5. So now let's write out the mathematical justification for that. So you get m equals, what do you do in the numerator? So go ahead and tell me specifically. Over 7 minus a negative 3, which becomes 7 plus 3, as some of you said. So this is negative 12 over 10. Good. And then you simplify because they have 2 in common, and you get negative 6 over 5. Questions?
do y sub 1 minus y sub 2 and x sub 1 over
X sub 1 minus x sub 2, what did you notice?
x.
You get the same exact thing. Because what's happening is you're still finding the distance between the y values divided by the distance or between the x values. So if you reverse the order and you're consistent, you'll get the same exact thing. You'll get the same exact thing. The thing is to make sure you're consistent. If you start with y1 minus y2, make sure you divide by x1 minus x2. Okay, you're welcome. Good. What other questions do you have? Okay, so part B, for negative 2, 4, and 6, 9, what did you get? 5 over 8. Perfect. So now let's work it out. So m, which is our slope, is what do you do in the numerator? 9 minus 4, good, divided by? 6 minus negative 2, which is the same thing as 6 plus 2. So you get 9 minus 4, which is? Yeah, we don't have to write it again because we already have it. Just draw a long equals. Equals 5 over 8. Do we simplify here?
No, you can't.
You can't because they don't have anything in common. 5 is a prime number, right? Does everybody know what that is?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so now we want to determine the slopes of the lines defined by the given equations. We want to determine the slopes of the lines defined by the given equations, okay? So here we have 12x minus 4y equals negative 9. So here we want to solve for what variable? Y. Very good. Because we're going to put this in what form? Y equals mx plus b form. Good. This is called slope-intercept form. Remember, this is slope-intercept form. M is your what? Good. That's your slope, and b is your?
Y-intercept.
Good. Your y-intercept. We talked about this, but this is just a reminder. It's your y-intercept. Okay. So our goal here is to solve this for y, to see if we can find out if there's an m. Okay. So what do we do first? You got it. Subtract 12x from both sides. So that gives us negative 4y equals?
Negative 12x minus 7.
You got it. Now what do we do?
Divide by 4.
Good. So, wait a minute. What do we divide by?
Negative 4.
Ah, good, all of you. We divide by negative 4. Because our goal is to isolate y. So what do we have on the left-hand side? Y.
Equals.
And I'm going to run out of room, so let me start writing this in another column. So from here up, we get y equals what?
Negative, what, 3?
Go ahead. We get 3 what?
X
Good.
minus, plus
Mm-hmm.
9 over 4.
Very good. Because negative 12 over negative 4 is 3. And you're subtracting a negative, which makes this a positive 9 over 4. So what can we conclude? Can we answer this question?
Yes.
What is our solution?
3y equals 3 plus 9 over 4.
I heard y equals 3x plus 9 over 4. I heard 3.
Oh, the slope is 3.
Oh,
The
that's...
y-intercept is
Wait a minute. What do we want to find?
The
the
slope.
slope.
All right. So what do we know?
The slope is 3.
M is 3. Very good. You got it. Make sure you pay attention to what the question is asking for. So you get M is equal to 3 here. What questions do you have? Okay, for part B, you have 7x equals 2. What can you tell me about this? Yes?
It's either like
They can't hear you in the back.
it's either like a vertical line
It's either a vertical line or a horizontal line. How do we know which one it is? It's a vertical line. Why is it a vertical line? Because there's an X. You got it. Good, all of you. Because there's an X involved. So let me ask you this. If we know this is a vertical line, that means we can solve this for what variable? So what do?
Divide by 7.
Good. We divide both sides by 7 to get X is equal to 2 over 7, which you already told me is a vertical line. You spot on with that. That's good. It's a vertical line. What do we know about the slope of a vertical line? It's undefined. So we write here, M is undefined.
So all vertical lines are undefined?
Yes, why?
No, I was asking.
I answered. I said yes. Why? The question was, so do all vertical lines have an undefined slope?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because what? Because the X values, when you subtract them, you get what?
0.
You get 0, and we cannot divide by 0. Okay? Excellent. That's why. That's why. Drill that in. That's very important. Okay? Good. Slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. Slope-intercept form of the equation of the line. If the equation of a non-vertical line in X and Y, meaning X and Y both appear in your equation, if this is solved for Y, the result is an equation in what's called slope-intercept form. Which we write as Y equals mx plus b. The constant m is your slope. So m is your slope, and b is your y-intercept. Or as an ordered pair, we put 0, comma b. Because whenever you find your y-intercept, when it crosses that y-axis, x is always 0. Okay? Questions here? Okay, so let's do some examples. We want to use the slope-intercept form to graph the equation. We want to use the slope-intercept form to graph the equation. This one is set up a little differently because I set it up as x minus y, or your book did. I'm choosing actual problems as examples so you can see problems similar to your homework. Okay? So you have x minus y over 2 equals -1. Okay? You like the rational expression?
Yes.
Yes? I see some shaking their head no, some yes. Good morning.
No.
If you like yes, then you can rewrite this away. If you do not like it, what can you do? Multiply both sides by 2. If you want to do it that way, go ahead and do it.
Oh, that's what I did.
All right, so you can multiply both sides by 2.
Wait, which way do you prefer?
I would eliminate the fraction in this case because we're dividing by a constant. If you have variables here, it's a little bit different, but that's not the case. If you only have a constant here, you can multiply both sides by the constant and eliminate that. Good. Okay, so we're going to multiply both sides by 2. So we have 2 times the quantity x minus y over 2. That equals 2 times -1. Notice that I'm putting that -1 in parentheses because if we do not, it looks like we would have what? 2 minus 1. Very good, and that's not what we have. So you got it. So make sure that you write it up properly. Okay? So what happens on the left-hand side? The 2 cancels out. And you're left with what?
X minus y.
Excellent. X minus y equals? -2. And our goal here, what we want to do?
Solve for y.
Right. Because the instructions say, tell us to use the slope-intercept form to graph the equation. So we need to solve this for y. So what do you want to do?
Move the x.
Move the x?
Yes. And you just divide by the negative at the end.
Good. So I love what you're doing. You're thinking ahead. because there's more than one way at this point. You can either, as you said, subtract x from both sides and then divide both sides by -1, or you can do what?
Move the Y.
You can move the y, and the y will already be positive, and then you can do what?
Move the 2.
Move the 2. Okay, so which way do you prefer?
The X.
Move the x, okay.
Because it's already on the side.
Okay, so you're going to subtract x, so we get -y equals what?
Negative X minus 2.
Good. Then do what?
Divide by 1. Yeah.
Divide by -1. Remember, we only take the coefficient, not the variable, so be careful. So this gives us what?
Y equals X plus 2.
Good. Okay, so we have it in this form. Now go ahead and take a minute and graph it. Huh?
Oh, it's due say to graph the equation.
Huh? It says graph it, right?
Yeah.
I thought the instructions were clear. Graph it.
It was.
Okay, so graphing it here, you have your XY axis, and from our slope-intercept form, we can identify that our slope is what? Our slope is 1 over 1. Good. So that's rise over run. And then we know our y-intercept as an ordered pair is what?
0, 2.
0, comma 2. Good. So we're going to plot that. 0, comma 2. And then we're going to use our slope to go up 1, over 1. Again, up 1, over 1. So what is this point?
3,
Good morning.
3,1.
It is what?
No, wait.
What's x?
1.
1. 1, comma 3. Good. 1, comma 3. And then you sketch the graph. That's the graph of x plus 2. That's the graph of x plus 2. What questions do you have? Ask me what? I need you all to talk loud where everybody can hear you.
If x was 3,
Yeah?
we do 301.
Yes. Absolutely. That means you would go up 3 and run to the right 1. Good. What other questions do you have? All right. Example 4. Find the equation of the line that passes through the point 0, 5 with slope of -3. Find the equation of the line that passes through the point 0, 5 with slope of -3. You want a minute to try it?
Yeah.
I'll give you a minute to try it. What did I give you?
Everything.
Everything. Be specific.
You gave us the
You
slope
gave
and
us
the
the-
y-intercept.
I gave you the slope and the y-intercept, so I want you to write the equation of the line corresponding to that. Take a couple minutes and do that. What do we have?
Line equals -3x plus 5.
Very good, you all. Very good. That's it. What questions do you have? Yes?
Every time I ask for equation, it's always going to be in slope-intercept form.
That's a good question. If it says put it in slope-intercept form, yes. Sometimes it'll just ask you to give the standard equation, which would be ax plus by equals c. If it is not specific, it's open, okay? And if it's multiple choice, you'll know what to look for specifically. I tend to put my equations in slope-intercept form. You might have to start in a different place because you may not be given the slope and you may not be given the intercept, as we'll see in our next example or our next concept that we're going to learn. But I tend to put mine in slope-intercept form. But just pay attention to what's being asked specifically. Good questions. Yes?
What if there was an x-intercept with the y-intercept? Like it was like
Then you
2y.
plot your x-intercept, you plot your y-intercept.
But how would we put that in slope-intercept form?
Say it again.
How would we put that in slope-intercept form where we would?
If you have your x-intercept and you have your y-intercept, you can find your what? You can find your slope.
Because you have 2 points.
That's right.
Y is 2 minus 1 over.
That's right. You got it. You would then have your 2 points, right? So then you use your slope formula to find your slope, and then you take your y-intercept and you use your equation for slope-intercept form. Very good. Good connections happening. What other questions do you have? All right, good. So the last form we want to learn about in this section is the point-slope form of a line. So here, what if I give you a point and I give you a slope, but the point I give you is not the y-intercept? Then what do? You use this that you're about to learn. Okay? So the point-slope form of the equation for the line passing through the point x1 comma y1 with slope m is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay, this is important. What is this form called? Excellent. What do you need to use this?
A point in the slope.
You got it. We need, you patting your head mad loud. We need a point. I understand the itching, but come on now. We need a point and slope. That's important to note. It's called point slope form. In the title, it tells you what you need. Notice that this is really just the slope formula with a point, right? If you solve this for m, you have y minus y1 over x minus x1, which looks really like the slope formula, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So let's apply it. Find the equation in slope-intercept form. So we're going to have to do some work. That's what this says. Because I'm giving you, it says, of the line that passes through the point negative 1, 3. Is this your y-intercept? No, it's not. It's a point. With the slope, negative 2 sevenths. So we have our point. We have our slope. So we're going to use the point slope form. And then we're going to solve that for what variable? Y. Very good. We're going to solve it for y. Would you like a minute to set this part up here? Just to set up.
Yes.
Set this up. What does this point represent?
X1 and Y1.
Good. So this is your x1, comma, y1. Right? So go ahead and use your point slope formula and with this as your point, x1 comma y1, and this is your slope to set that up. Set up. We have what? Not everybody at once. What do we have? Yeah. Y minus what? 3. Good. Talk loud where everybody can hear you. Equals what? Mm-hmm. Can y'all hear her in the back? They're looking. What'd you say?
In parentheses, x plus 1.
X, what was it before it was x plus 1? X minus negative 1. Very good. Very good. So when you simplify, you get y minus 3 equals negative 2 sevenths times x plus 1. Very good. Questions here? Okay, so now our goal is to solve for
Y.
good. Our goal is to solve for y. That's our goal. So let's solve for y. So what should we do on the right side?
Distribute
Distribute what?
the negative 2 over 7 to the x into the 1.
Good. So we get y minus 3 equals,
Negative 2 over 7x minus negative 2 over 7.
not minus negative 2 over 7,
Minus 2 over 7.
minus 2 over 7. Why just minus 2 over 7?
Because of what is
Because this is a positive here. So the positive times the negative gives you this negative. Are we all right?
Yeah.
So notice that we're writing up our steps. Write down your steps, not just part of it. Notice that we brought this y minus 3 down. We did not just write what's on the right. Make sure you start taking the time to put all of the steps in appropriately. Okay? So now what do we do to both sides? Add 3. Good. Add 3. So then this becomes y equals negative 2/7 x minus 2/7 plus 3. And how can we rewrite 3 with the denominator of 7? 21 over 7. Good. So we get y equals negative 2 over 7. Go ahead.
Minus 2 over 7 plus 21 over 7.
Good. What do we get for y?
Equals negative 2 over 7x plus 19 over 7.
Can we simplify?
No.
No, we cannot. This is it. This is it. Now, notice that it said find the equation in slope-intercept form. If your question says put this in standard form, if the question says put it in standard form, then we have to do a little bit of work. Do you want to see how to put it in standard form from here?
Yes.
Okay. I see some saying no. I mean, it's possible. It's possible you'll see some problems like that. So once you get it in slope-intercept form, standard form, this is an aside, this is not a part of the problem. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So from here, you multiply both sides by 7. So we started out with y equals negative 2/7 x plus 19 over 7. Then we multiply both sides by 7 to get 7y equals what? So let me rewrite this. You're multiplying each expression here by 7, right?
7y equals negative 2x plus 19.
Plus 19. Good. And what do we do now? Add the 2x. Very good. Add the 2x. So you get 2x plus 7y equals 19. That's in standard form. Not so bad. Not so bad. But just make sure you understand what the question is asking. What questions do you have? That's 3.4. That's 3.4. 3.4 is slope and forms of linear equations. Okay? That's 3.4. Does everyone have this? That's a question. No? I see no.